Hey guys, it's me, Jocelyn. So Halloween is quickly approaching us. Like, quarantine has really done the most this year. But anyways, I love Halloween time, and I don't know about you, but all I do is watch like Tim Burton movies and like eat candy, living my best life, you know. But I thought it'd be a fun idea to do a corpse bride makeup look. I've never done this, but we'll see how it goes. But I'll be doing that and also telling you a story about a corpse bride, or a few, depending on if I have time. But yeah, I did some research and I found some really interesting stories to tell, so I thought it was fitting. If you want to see me create the look that I just showed you, then just keep watching. Oh, also, don't mind this. Just like ignore what that is. You'll see after what I'm doing. So this is the picture that I'm gonna be referencing, just so you guys know. You guys, if you haven't seen The Corpse Bride, you need to watch it now. Maybe not like right this second, but like you should really watch it. It's really good. So the palettes I'm gonna be using are Jawbreaker by Jeffree Star Cosmetics and the Mini Controversy Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star Cosmetics collab. Those palettes just have bright blues and they're pretty pigmented, so that's what I'm using. Alright, so the story I'm going to be telling you about is really messed up. So if you can't handle like creepy stories, then this video probably isn't for you. But you can go watch like, yeah, my sister did my hair last week, so you can go watch that. That's more like non-creepy spooks town type thing. Anyways, so I'm gonna start by priming my face with the Revolution Beauty Hydra Quench Primer. So this guy, Carl Tanzler, this was about 1930s. He lived in Germany. In the 1930s, police found the body of Elena de Hoyos housed in Carl Tanzler's home. She had already died years earlier. Creepy, I know. Here's the creepier parts. Carl was a very odd man, to say the least. He swore he was sent a vision from heaven that he was supposed to meet and fall in love with a woman who was tan with dark hair. Now, if you remember, I did say that Carl lived in Germany. So, this creepy guy, he moved to the United States in hopes to find this woman. He got married and had children, but still did not feel satisfied. Like, he still had that thought in the back of his mind that he was supposed to marry, or he was supposed to fall in love with a woman with tan skin and dark hair. So he kind of separated himself from his family. They didn't divorce, but they were separated. He began working in a hospital as a radiology technician. Right? You'd think, probably a smart guy, yeah. But no one knew that he had this creepy vision. But anyways, so he met this woman named Elena de Hoyos. She was a tuberculosis patient, and she essentially was gone for. Like, in the 1930s, tuberculosis, the outbreak was pretty bad, which is very sad. She had tuberculosis. She was fairly young. She was also married. So Tanzler, Carl, would visit her often in the hospital and eventually confessed his love, or crazy infatuation, with her, to which the feeling was not reciprocated. She did not feel the same way. She was married, separated from her husband, but she still, it's a creepy old man coming at you all the time. She was not interested. But that didn't stop him. Carl convinced her and her family that he was a doctor. Now, remember what I said, he was a radiology technician, but he was not a doctor. But he convinced her that he was. So he also convinced her that he could care for her at her home. So she fell for this, her family fell for this, and so he started visiting her at her home. Now, this is not the creepy part yet. I know, weird. Wow, I look crazy. I look like a blueberry right now. Carl would steal equipment and medications from the hospital. He was doing experiments on Elena to try to cure her. Whether or not this made it worse, we don't know. So Elena died in 1931, to which Carl offered to pay for her funeral expenses. Not only did he offer to pay for her funeral expenses, he went above and beyond. He paid to have an elaborate tomb built for her. He wasn't even married to her. She didn't love him back, yet he continued. Anyways, I don't know why this is so patchy. It's okay, I'm supposed to be dead anyways. So he was the only one who had the key to this tomb, which you could probably have an idea why. He would visit her every single day and inject her with formaldehyde to preserve her body and make it look alive still. So this sad, creepy man decided one day, after 2 years of visiting Elena at her burial site, he decided that it would be a good idea if he just brought her home, you know, because that's normal. So he did. He brought her home in a toy wagon. How nobody saw this, I have no idea. Yep, he took her body and dragged it to his house in a toy wagon and treated her as if they were married, like a married couple, and she was alive. So he would sleep with her every night. He would prop her into a chair during the day. Some say he did some other like unspeakable creepy things, which probably, but yeah, he truly believed that she was his wife. Gets even crazier, which sounds like it couldn't, right? So Carl believed that if he could somehow bring her to space, that the radiation could bring her back to life. So he began building this aircraft to do so. Mind you, this was before the astronauts went to the moon even. So the idea of this was even more crazy back then. Now, it wasn't until 7 years later that police arrested him. And this was only because neighbors started to get suspicious. So he was bringing all these women's clothing, or buying all these women's clothes for his wife, but he lived alone. And some people even say that they saw him dancing. When he brought her home also, what he did was he stuffed her with coat hangers so that she had a bone structure, so that she would have some bones. Not only did he do that, but with her hair, he made her a wig. And he also replaced her eyes with glass ones. So basically he just made her a giant doll. Clearly he had some like mental problems, which you can't really fault him for, but I mean, it's still creepy and weird, so that's not gonna diminish the fact that that all is wrong. He also would go out and buy her clothing. Sorry to pause. I'm actually gonna take the Maybelline Lasting Drama Light Liner. It's just white, so I'm just gonna make my eyes look a little bit bigger. So yeah, the trick to making your eyes look a little bit bigger is taking white liner and basically drawing where your like bags would be. Obviously that's not bright enough, so I'm gonna take white from that Jeffree Star palette. So yeah, he used to dress her up, which is freaking creepy. He did all that, and he was only caught 7 years later. 7 years of housing that woman in his home, that corpse in his home. That is when he was coming home buying clothing for his wife. Pretty creepy. So, like I said, neighbors becoming suspicious. And some said that they sometimes saw him dancing in front of the window with what appeared to be a life-size dummy. With his track record, I wouldn't deny this. He probably was dancing with her. Oh, I didn't mention also, because you're probably thinking, it must have stunk. It did. But the way he would keep down the odor was by using oil and tonics. So, like I said, he was arrested, right? A psychologist studied him and deemed him mentally unstable, which obviously, yeah. But not only did this happen, but he was released from jail, from prison, because the statute of limitations had already been up. It was 7 years. They can't do anything about that. So they released him and went back to his home. They actually reburied Elena, by the way. They buried her in an unmarked grave so that he would not be able to find her again. Which is kind of sad for Elena and her family because like she deserves to like, I don't know, rest and be known that she's resting there, but because of this nutcase, she had to be unmarked. But he lived on his own. People didn't really ridicule him because they felt sorry for him. Some people thought like, oh, this man, he was just housing his wife because he was so sad she died, which wasn't true. Or some people pitied him because like they knew the story and they thought, oh well, he's just mentally unstable. I feel sorry for him, which I also get. Yeah, it's a pretty sad story. He actually, oh yeah, Anastasia did Brown. So this man actually lived out his days in Florida. His wife never divorced him, which is kind of crazy. And she actually took pity on him. So she continued like taking care of him financially, which that's a good way. But again, he left her for a corpse. Oh yeah, Emily's eyebrows are always like curved like this. So that's why I'm doing that, by the way. Oh yeah, Emily is the corpse bride. Oh my god, did I even say? Wow, I'm doing okay. Yeah, so she kept paying for his living and he died in 1951 in Florida. He's actually buried in Florida as well. So if you're ever at the, I'm probably gonna butcher this name. So if you're ever at the Zephyr Hills Cemetery, you'll see he's buried there. I mean, obviously don't bother his resting place, but if you're ever curious just to go and you're in Florida, that's where he's buried. Such a sad story. Sad for Elena's family and her actual husband, even though they were separated, but still, that's still sad. Yeah, so that's a story of a corpse that was called a corpse bride. I'm just darkening my brows so they're more blue. So I'm gonna go in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeliner and just kind of go around that bottom where I extended my eyeball, just so it's actually there. Now she doesn't have eyeliner, but I think I'm gonna do it just to create that dramatic effect of eyelashes. So there's another story. Now this is more of a legend and more of an idea. So I've seen a few YouTubers cover this. So it's the La Pascualita bride. Now, if you haven't heard this, it's a mannequin that is in a storefront of a bridal shop, which you're probably wondering and thinking that, okay, that's pretty normal. But this one is suspiciously real. Now, full disclosure, none of this is like factual by any means. It's just something that people believe. It is said that this mannequin is a real corpse bride. Sounds crazy, but here's why people think so. So this mannequin has features that are so realistic that people actually believe it is a live mannequin. The people who own the bridal shop say that this isn't true. The woman who owned it, her name was Pascualita, she denies this story. But her daughter had died the day of her wedding. It is said that take a look at these pictures of the hands. That's why this is one, and the feet too are like this, but it just looks so realistic. There are no mannequins that look this realistic. I don't know. It's crazy. The other speculation is that the soul or spirit of the daughter was cast into this mannequin, which I think sounds a little bit more realistic than them keeping a actual rotting corpse. I don't know. What do you guys think? People literally go to this store just to look at the mannequin. I'm just gonna try and make my nose look small. Because Emily, the corpse bride, doesn't really have a nose. Sorry if this looks like garbo. I'd be trying my best while also talking. Isn't it so sad that the daughter died on her wedding day? It's so sad. I wonder if the mom opened the bridal shop after her daughter died or if it was already existing. Huh. I probably should have looked that up. Looks like she has some cracks because obviously she's decaying. So there's one right here, one right here. Looks like I'm permanently like sad. I'm gonna just make some contour, because her cheeks are sunken in, obviously. I'm just gonna fast forward through this a little bit so it doesn't take 10 years. I have one more story, but I'm gonna go through a little bit more because this is gonna take a while. The sadness, but I just did. I look alive again. Ah! So since my lower lash line or lower lashes are gone, I'm gonna draw some on. It's not sticking as well on my chest because I didn't put primer down, but it's fine. I'll make it work. I still look dead. I'm gonna put some lashes on after doing my mascara too, just to give it more of a dramatic effect. Guys, if you are looking for a mascara and like an affordable one, don't walk, run. Run to Ulta. I don't know where else. It's probably sold other places. This is the Essence Lash Princess mascara, and oh my goodness. It is so good. Like, I don't even use the other ones anymore. That's how good this one is. And that it takes a lot for me to like a mascara. So there's this story of a woman. I mean, I don't know if you'd call her a corpse bride because she was already married. So this is the story of La Lorena, probably pronouncing that wrong. But she was the weeping woman. I think this was a story in Mexico. But it's an urban legend that she met and fell in love with this nobleman who obviously was wealthy. She was not. But he thought she was so beautiful that he married her anyways. They had 2 little boys and he started to drift away from her a little bit, which made her very upset, obviously. And she went to a river, saw him with a young, beautiful woman in his carriage with him. And that was like 2 of the biggest things she feared. Like, she was no longer young and she feared that he would find someone that was young and beautiful, which she was no longer. So sad. So in her anger and frustration, she threw her boys into the water and they drowned. And it's said that after this, she realized what she did and she tried to also throw herself into the water. You get my drift. That didn't work. She actually landed off to the side, and it's said that that's where she roams till this day to find her missing boys. If you hear the sounds of her weeping, then it's said that you should run very far away in the opposite direction, which I would do. Yeah, that's just a short little urban legend. Alright, so this should be fun. I tested it a little bit. So since I'm blonde now, I'm gonna take this like deep purple and mix it with this cobalt blue I have, and just, you know, honestly, wasn't planning on washing my hair today, but that's okay. Ugh, The Corpse Bride is so sad. That movie. It's such a good movie. Okay, other Tim Burton movies. Have you guys seen A Nightmare Before Christmas? Because if you haven't, that's another one you should really put on your list. I did a pumpkin, if you can see back there, with Jack Skellington, which is the main character. I want to do another one with like Corpse Bride. Leave in the comments if you guys would want to see me do a pumpkin carving video, because I love that stuff too. Maybe I can get my sister to do it with me too. One of my sisters. That'd be fun. Wow, this is actually kind of working. Oh. If this stains my hair, I'm gonna be sad. I was having such a hard time deciding on what character I was gonna do because I was like, instantly I was like Corpse Bride. But at the same time, I really love Sally from A Nightmare Before Christmas. So those were the ones I was debating between. Oh, other Tim Burton movies. Have you guys seen Edward Scissorhands? That is such a good movie. Like, I think I watched it when I was really little and that was it, but I didn't remember it. And like, last year, I rewatched it for the first time. And it's so good. Like, it's so underrated. Like, Tim Burton is such a mastermind. I will say I haven't seen Frankenweenie, but I heard that was a good movie too. Let me just speed through this so you guys don't have to sit here for 10 years. Alright, I'm gonna curl my lashes, throw on some fake lashes too. To add, I'm gonna throw on some more highlight to like accent some areas. Throw on a lip of some sort. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Just very like, oh actually never mind, I know what I'm doing. It's like a very weird purpley pink color. Like I said, I'm gonna go in with like a white shimmer shade and touch up some areas. Now I obviously don't have a wedding dress, but I'll think of something. I'm gonna use this like gold Shane Dawson lip. It literally smells like root beer. Now I'm gonna use this like pinkish purple shade and just tap it. I figured out what this smells like. Okay, did you guys ever have to take like antibiotics as a kid? That like disgusting pink kind? I think it was amoxicillin. Oh, that's what it smells like. Oh no. All right, so it does have a little bit purple, so I'm gonna use Gumdrop from the Jawbreaker palette and kind of just rub it on the center. Her lips are more prominent, like you can see the lines better and stuff. So I'm gonna take a darker shade, kind of outline. Did you guys like those stories, by the way? I love creepy like stories, especially around this time. And then take that same white color. I'm like barely touching my lips. And I'm obviously not reviving my beauty mark because she doesn't have that. Just a wedding dress, which I sadly do not have. I'll put something on though. There's the final look. What do you guys think? How do you think it came out? Does it look realistic? I mean, obviously people are not blue, but I also don't have a wedding dress, so this is what you're getting. Leave a comment down below if you want me to do Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas. Also, go watch Tim Burton movies if you haven't, because they're perfect for this time of year. But yeah, that concludes this video. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like this video, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all those things, because that'd be really cool. And until the next video, I'll see you later. Love you guys.